This is Caleb Westfall, and I am interviewing Mary Canning as part of Bayview Historical Society's 40th Anniversary Oral History Project. It is currently about 3 p.m. on August 19th, 2019, and we are conducting the interview on South Crane Drive in Oak Creek. Also present, besides me and Katherine, are Catherine's daughter, besides Mary, is Mary's daughter Katherine, as well as Mike Smith and
Katherine.
Yeah, Katherine is the person being interviewed, and
sure.
Mary is the daughter.
As well as Mike Smith and Frank Mulvey. Please be assured that we understand that your participation is fully voluntary and that we can take a break, postpone, or terminate the interview at any time at your request. We have a list of questions to help get the discussion started, but you are welcome to decline answering any of these that you don't want to answer and answer others as you see fit. We have some specific topics that we want to cover, but mostly want to hear what you have to say about your experiences in Bayview. We have set aside an hour for this interview with the understanding that it may run slightly shorter or longer. We thank you for your time and willingness to share your stories with us today. And with that, we'll get started. Can you please state your name, where and when you were born, and where you currently live?
My name is Katherine Canning. I was born in Bayview on Wentworth Avenue, and I lived there for 85 years.
And what year were you born then?
1915.
1915. And did you have your birthday this year yet, or no?
No, my birthday's in November. I'll be 104.
104, I'm sorry.
That's all right. So you lived there for 85 years and you moved here in Oak Creek afterwards?
Yeah, then we moved to Oak Creek because my husband couldn't handle the maintenance work, at Bayview. So we put up our house for sale and we sold it, and we've lived in Oak Creek ever since. I rent for my daughter.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to talk about, you said you lived in Bayview for 85 years. Do you want to talk about where you all lived in Bayview?
Oh, I lived on, I was born on Wentworth, and we moved to Ontario. And from Ontario, we moved to Superior. That was it.
So,
and then when I left Bayview after 85 years and moved to Oak Creek because my husband couldn't handle the house. But he likes my house, huh?
Very much.
It's a nice little house, ain't it, Mary? Oh, those kids had a good time in that basement. Oh, yeah.
do you remember some of your earliest memories on living on Wentworth?
No. I don't know how. I don't think I was very old. My brother was born in Bayview on Superior, but I was born. I was 7 years older than my brother and 2 years older than my sister.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't remember any memories of Wentworth Avenue. Except that the Mays, they had the tavern there.
Okay.
They had the tavern on the corner. She was very good to my mother when she first came from Europe. And she had a couple of grandsons that were very good to us, too. But we didn't live there very long because my mother bought the house on Superior from the Illinois Steel Company. They owned all of Superior Street because when the immigrants came to work at the foundry, they all lived on that block,
Sure, because that's pretty close to where the factory was, huh?
Yeah. And I can remember there was a great big fence, because behind it was the engine that used to come in. I don't know, they brought coal in or whatever, but in that I don't remember. But we lived, my mother bought that, she bought that from the Illinois Steel Company. After the immigrants all left, they sold all the houses on Superior. My mother paid $500 for her
Wow.
house.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Round the corner from Grappi's?
yes,
Oh,
she was his first customer.
oh.
And I worked at Grappi's for a while, not in the store, but in the house. I did the housework.
Uh-huh.
But too bad Tommy isn't here, isn't it? Yeah. But anyhow, we used to charge our groceries. We didn't pay cash.
Oh yeah.
That was the way people bought their food in those days. They used to charge, and then they'd pay the bill after a week or two or whatever they wanted to do. And I loved Bayview, but I never went to Bayview High School. No. I didn't go to St. Mary's. I walked to Mercy. And when Father Pierce found out, he gave me 50 cents for my car fare because it took me an hour and a half to walk to school.
Oh.
Winter, summer, spring. Mary and I, but when I graduated from Mercy, Mary went to Bayview. She didn't want to go to Mercy anymore.
And Mercy High School was located where?
29th and Mitchell.
29th and Mitchell. So that's quite a trek.
Wow. You
Oh,
walked.
it was quite a trek.
You walked all the way there.
Every day.
Huh?
Wow.
Every day.
I walked every day. Winter, oh Lord, it was something.
Tell them about
And we
your-
used to stop at the various churches, because it was cold or it was raining, whatever. Yeah.
But they had no lunch, so the nuns gave them lunch.
Mm.
But they were dirt poor.
When the nuns found out that we weren't eating lunch,
Yeah.
they made sure that we ate. They were good to us. The nuns were good to us. Yeah. But I wouldn't want to live in Bayview now.
Tell them, okay, when they came here, they didn't speak any English either. So they learned English at IC.
Okay. Yeah, so you said, did your mother came from Europe? You said
Yeah, from Yugoslavia.
from Yugoslavia. What year did she come?
Mama came in, my dad came in 15 and my mother came in 19. She came to get married to some man that had sent her passports, who paid for her trip. But by the time she came, he went back. So then she stayed here and met my dad. She knew my dad over in Europe too. And then they got married. And they were married
They were married a long time. My grandma died at 103. My grandpa died in his
Yeah.
70s.
Yeah.
But the dates she gave you are incorrect. They came earlier.
Sure.
But I went to Immaculate Conception all my life.
But my grandpa was an educated man. He could read and write. My grandmother could not read or write.
My dad could read and write, and he could speak 3 languages, Hungarian, Croatian, and English.
And my grandma didn't read or write.
Oh, he was a nice man. Papa was good. My mother was a tyrant.
So when you were growing up, did you learn English right away, or did you know the other languages too growing up? Or?
Oh, we talked Croatian at home, even though I went to a Catholic school. That's where I learned to speak English from the nuns. But we spoke Croatian at home. And when I worked at Grappi's, Mrs. Grappy spoke very little English, but she had 12 children.
Wow.
They had 12 children.
Oh.
But she was such a good person.
There's a story that the scale for weighing your produce at Grappies, that a newborn would be
Yeah.
put on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
true story?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Who told you that?
I heard it from a couple of different people,
Yeah?
and you know.
Well, that scale was you know what the scales were like when those, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the scale that they had. They weighed everything on it.
Mhm. And yeah, everything and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mrs. Groppy had made spaghetti, you know, and everybody made different spaghettis. But Mrs. Groppy's was very, very good. But I never ate there. I had to go home for lunch. But there was always sweets on the table, you know. She always wanted her kids to be fat. And she would insist that they eat all the time, but they didn't. You know, none of them were heavy. But she was a good woman. He was good too. And when Eddie wanted to be a policeman, he had to get 3 references. And I said to Mr. Groppy, "Would you be one?" He said, "I don't know your husband." He wouldn't. But she insisted. His wife insisted. And he signed the papers. But she was a lovely person. And her sister came from Europe one time and stayed and used to work in the store. But she never stayed. She went back to Europe. She married somebody over there. But they were good to me. Very, very good to me. And the nuns, she didn't like the Catholic school, though.
But then you had Gruppies and you had Bellina's, which is now the, what's the one, Cactus Club?
Okay.
It was called Bellina's. And Marino's is now the
Palomino.
Palomino,
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got Garibaldi, which was always Garibaldi.
Sure.
Yeah.
But between those 3 places and Gruppies, that's all you did. And the Gruppies had benches
Yeah.
outside
Okay.
of the grocery store, and that's what you did. And you go and sit and talk.
And so what was in those 2 places you mentioned where the Palomino is now and where Cactus Club is?
Bars.
They're bars? Okay.
But they were both run by Italians.
Okay.
That's why the Italian people really had a niche in Bayview, very much so. But those bars were very popular. And then across the street was that always the across the street from Grumpy's?
You mean Marino's?
No, not the bar, the other one, the other house on the corner.
Bellina's?
No, right across the street east of Gruppy's on the corner there. Wasn't that a haircut, a barber shop?
Oh, that was everything. It was a restaurant for once, and then it was a beauty shop for another time. I can't remember who.
That was, but I remember it as a haircut, barber shop.
And there was
between
we
Rockies
used to
and
buy
Garibaldi.
our bread from a baker that baked bread in Bayview, you know, and he used to deliver.
Oh.
And he'd come to the house with the bread.
Oh,
My mother bought from him,
Milkman
yeah.
too, yeah. Milkman too was delivered. Everything was delivered then. But okay, enough of that.
Yeah.
So, because we're just talking about some of those things right near where your house was on Superior, then the Grappies and those other places. Do you remember much about the factory? Because I think that the factory, the big factory that was there, didn't close until 1929, I believe. I don't think they.
The only thing I remember is the big fence and the engine that used to come in there, because we used to go down to the lake all the time, you know, and there was 2 piers, a big pier and a little pier, and the big pier was the boys used to go swimming out there bareback, you know, and. We never, the girls never went there, but anyhow, the boys, when it was hot, especially like this, they'd take their clothes off and off they jump, you know? But Miss Morgan, the teacher from Trowbridge, lived on top of the hill. And she used to call the cops all the time. But the kids, well, you know how boys are. They're not afraid of anything. But anyhow, the swimming was something else back there. It's like it is today. You could swim as much as you wanted, but Miss Morgan didn't like that they were swimming there. But anyhow, the American Legion had a post up there too when we were young. Yeah, very nice.
That would be located where Cupertino Park is right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
South Shore Drive.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was the old Post 180
Okay.
before they moved to
Where
KK, which was recently
Team Marines.
hauled away.
Okay, sure.
It was something. We stay out till 2:00 in the morning, and walk home. And I used to go to dancing at Packard Hall in Cudahy. And after the dance would close at 2:00 in the morning, I'd get on the streetcar and get off on Russell Avenue and walk home. At 2:00 in the morning. That's how safe the streets were at
Yeah.
Bayview then. But not anymore. But my mother never. I could do what I wanted. She didn't. Except when I had children, she
Mom,
didn't.
That's okay. Okay, back on that.
So, how old were you when you left Superior Street then? Do you know, did you,
Oh,
when you were an adult or?
I wasn't. Because Ed was.
Oh yeah, my dad was sick. They had to be in their 80s. They were in their 80s. So she was in Bayview 80 years.
Okay, but in the same house?
Same house.
Same house, oh, okay.
Yes. My grandma owned the house on Superior Street, and when my mom, and then they moved up a block.
Okay,
Ours was 2512, they moved
Okay.
up to 2562. Then they sold, my mother and dad bought the house and remodeled the house,
okay.
Yeah.
and that's when they lived there.
And this, whatever his name is, bought the house from us, and he's still got it.
Yep, Jim Schmitz.
Has he got children?
He does. And grandchildren.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
I often wanted to stop there just to see what it looks like.
He'd love to see you.
But we used to
He
walk.
loved it. He remembers
between
you.
my mother, our house and my grandma's house every day. We'd go
Maybe
up there
I
for
will
lunch and vice
sometime.
versa.
Good
So
man.
we never had babysitters. My grandma and grandpa
Sure.
always took care of us. But that was just typical. And then everybody sat on the front porches.
Yeah.
That's all you did. And then you waved to the people that were driving by.
But we used to dance at Garibaldi's.
Oh.
They had a great big ball up on the top.
Do they still have that? Do you guys know?
I don't
I'm
know.
trying to think.
In
I've
the
been in there,
hall?
but I feel like they have, I'm not sure.
They had
Oh.
a great big one of those balls
Okay,
Yeah.
in the hallway. And that was Janduzas owned that or rented it.
okay.
Red,
Eleanor and
yeah.
Red for years, and then went back to Garibaldi's always owned it for the association.
Were you ever a member of the Bayview Historic Society?
No.
Okay.
I was a friend of Daisy Estes' though, because her husband would write more often than my husband would, because he was in the 32nd also. And when she got a letter, she would call, get a hold of me, and I'd go over to her house, and she'd read Tucker's letter to me.
Oh.
But she went to Bayview. I didn't, but she knew more. They were sort of the elite of Bayview.
Oh.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
The Estes.
Tucker was the last name. Of the,
That was her married name. Yeah. He was. He. There were two of them that were in the Red Arrow division.
oh, yeah.
Orrin Tucker and I forget what his brother's name was.
Yeah, even back then, the Estes house was,
Oh.
it was a nice house, and everybody knew it was a nice house.
Doc Hansen liked Daisy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, Hankowitz. Hankowitz, his name was. Hankowitz. My mother used to call him handkerchief. Oh.
So did you say your husband was in the war?
He was in the war.
So
He
did-
was in the 32nd Division for 3 years.
In New Guinea.
New Guinea.
Never took his boots off.
And I didn't see him for 3 years.
So did you marry him after the war or before?
No, he came home from service one time.
Oh,
And
okay.
he had to get permission from his chaplain. He said, Eddie, it's not going to last. But it did. My husband was a remarkable
My
man.
dad lived on the east side,
Okay.
off of Brady.
Okay.
His whole family did. So,
Okay.
and then he too, when he'd come down to
Remarkable
Bayview,
man.
and he'd miss the late car, he'd walk.
You knew him, Michael, didn't you?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And he was a cop on, in Bayview, and everybody knew him and liked him. Yeah. Go ahead.
Is there that story about a bomb at the police house and it exploded? Is there any truth to that?
What place-
Where was
It
this?
was found outside a church, and I guess a woman found it and thought, maybe I take this to the police station. And must have been stationed near downtown or something.
Oh, that I don't remember.
No, because the second district was where my dad was out of. That's on
Oh.
Lincoln Avenue.
Is there any truth to that story? Okay.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's not true, but I never heard it.
Oh, that it,
And, if she lived in Bayview, she would have taken it to the second district.
oh,
I
okay.
don't know why
You
she
know,
would-
when they had
Okay,
that
I don't know.
cleansing of the police department, do you remember that? Or did you ever hear of it?
On what year?
They were, evidently there was something going on in the department that wasn't right. So they were interviewed, and there were 3 men that they found nothing wrong with, and one was Eddie and his buddy. But then he drove the squad for I don't know how many years, ain't it, Mary? He was on that squad, him
Watching
and,
over us.
yeah.
Was- But when he died, there were some merchants from Lincoln Avenue that came, said he was only, I hate to say this, he was only, which was very nice,
Sure.
I shouldn't have said that, but I didn't say that, they said it.
So how did you meet Eddie?
Garibaldi's.
At Garibaldi's?
Yeah, I was there with my sister and a girlfriend because they had open house. Red Genduza was opening up, and he had an open house, and we were there for lunch. He come in with 2 fellas that I knew from Bayview, and they brought him over and introduced him, and he had the curliest hair. Oh, and he said, Katie, can I take you home? I said, sure. And he took me across the street and never made the owl car, and he had to walk all the way to the east side. But he didn't mind. Nobody had cars in those days, No, none of us did, no.
Those were the streetcars where
Yeah,
the seats
Yeah.
moved.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Remember those? The
Yeah,
trolleys?
I
And the
rode
boys
on
used to
one.
pull the pop trolleys? Oh, God. Yeah,
Yeah. No wonder they call it the owl cars.
in it?
Late.
Right, oh.
because they stopped.
Yeah.
But the trolley in Bayview, remember?
I remember.
Yeah.
Went down KK Avenue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Delaware?
KK and then Delaware.
Yeah.
They went down Delaware Avenue and then all the way to the end of the line.
Yeah, to the north
And
side.
then back up to the east side,
Ah.
streetcar. And you're right, it had this, you used to be able to move this,
Move the seats back and forth.
When did they get rid of that?
Oh.
But I never,
I don't know.
I never worked in Bayview.
You worked at the post office for quite a
Before
while.
that, I worked in a priest house.
Oh, parsonage. How long at the post office?
26.
Wow.
I was a big shot
On downtown or
downtown.
downtown post office?
I started off on
Okay.
Greenfield.
Uh-huh.
I worked as window clerk for I don't know how long.
Mm.
I loved my job. I just loved it.
Yeah.
And I made many friends. But we worked nights, and there were the only reason the women were there were because the men were going into service, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But I had a nice job at the post office.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my son got a job there,
Oh.
and he did very well.
All right.
Now his son is there.
Oh, at the address where it is now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So third generation working there.
yeah.
Wow. So did you start working there in like the 1930s or 1940s, or when did you? Do you remember when? You started?
No, gee, now you got me.
So you said people were going off to war.
Yeah, I was there.
Well, I was just wondering when she started working at the post office, because she said people were going off to war. So I was,
I don't know. So she would have been my sister. Let's see, 1950, probably in 52. Therese was just born when you went to the post office,
Yeah.
right? In the 50s. Therese was born in 1950.
Yeah,
So it's probably 1950.
she's as old as he is.
50, no, 51. No, Mom, no.
Tracy's 60.
Okay, he's not 60, Mother.
He's 60, eh?
no, not quite.
I thought you said you were.
No,
Oh,
no, I'm 33.
That's okay,
okay.
she's just, yeah, that's all right.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk more about where you went to school?
Immaculate Conception?
We talked about Mercy a little bit. Do you want to talk
Yeah.
more about that, or
Mercy was a girls' school when I went.
okay?
No boys, you know? It was all girls.
Just like St. Mary's.
Yeah.
St. Mary's is in Bayview, was in Bayview, Mercy
Okay.
was on 29th and Mitchell. But they, yeah.
But you know what? The Depression was rough. It was really, really rough. You didn't have any transportation. It was hard to buy things, you know, because nobody was working. But we had a bill at Grappy's.
And that's why she worked there. She worked off the bill,
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
which is nice of them.
yeah.
Yeah. So what type of things did you do at Grappy's? I know you kind of mentioned that a little bit, but when you worked there.
But I worked in the house. I didn't work in the
Oh,
store.
okay. So you
I didn't
house with
work in the
kids.
store.
Okay.
I did the washing.
But it was very nice because my grandpa wasn't working.
Sure.
That's his job. My
Yeah.
grandma didn't work. They had no money.
Sure.
Tell them some of the things about the Depression.
Yeah.
Some of the Malcolm Wally, her brother would say they would deliver the coal and they would dump the coal right out on the front lawn.
At
you
the
know, your
curb,
grasses.
yeah, by the
On
curb.
the curb. Then you had to move the coal in. And then my grandpa used to send my Uncle Wally to the lake to pick up the firewood.
Mm.
So he would go down there and he was just mortified. He'd say, Pa, do I have to? My grandpa would say, yeah. So he would go down with the coaster wagon, pick up all the driftwood,
Yeah.
and they used that for the furnace. And then the tennis shoes they had, on the back of the tennis shoes, what was it, like a black or a red stripe on the back? So everybody knew that
They were
County
welfare, yeah.
you were on welfare.
Wow.
Yeah,
It was no fun to be on welfare in those days, no.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
But there were a lot of people, there were no jobs.
But we made it,
And they paid it off.
yeah. But everybody was poor then. Oh, Lord, the Depression was bad.
But then with Prohibition too, they had their own little wine.
Yes.
My grandparents didn't make the wine, but there were other people that did.
Beer was a nickel, and the mugs were this big. Oh,
And the wine,
yeah.
And then they used to pay the kids, they paid Uncle Wally, what was it, 5 cents to deliver? But
Yeah.
My grandparents didn't make wine. It was usually the Italians.
Delivered to this iron mill.
Probably, and
Right.
the people in the neighborhood. But that was
Oh.
prohibition, so
During
that
Prohibition,
wasn't,
you said.
that wasn't legal.
Sure.
So it's like, yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was there, I don't know if the word is moonshine?
Mm-hmm, well, I don't know about that. Besides the wine, Mom, did they make whiskey or anything? Oh, yeah.
And that required a lot of sugar. The story I heard was that, the sugar would be in bags, cloth bags. And after the bag was, after the sugar was used, the bags were washed
Yeah.
and hung up on the clothesline.
And they became dish rags.
And if there were a number of bags on the clothesline, then the story was that therefore that household
Oh, it was the house.
It's a giveaway.
was making
Moonshine.
moonshine.
Yeah.
Is that? I don't
Does
know.
that make sense?
Huh?
Was that true?
Sure. The Chance had his
His
father
parents.
made whiskey,
Yes, yes.
and 50 cents a pint. Because I used to go get it.
Okay.
My dad worked in a foundry, and he always had a shot before he went to work and when he came home.
Yeah.
It was hard work.
6
And-
days a week.
Yeah. And the Illinois
12
Steel
hours.
Company closed down. I forget what year it closed
I think it
down.
was 29.
Was it?
1929, I think. I could be
Oh,
wrong.
But remember, did anybody mention the Old Smoky? The locomotive that was by,
They used to have it set up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think anyone's mentioned. Yeah, if you want to talk about that. at
remember
all.
Old
What?
Smoky, Mom?
Old Smoky? The
that was up on near DeMarini's.
By
Yeah,
Travis Ambett's.
yeah.
It was called Travis Ambett's, then the
Yeah.
DeMarinis boys bought
Yeah.
it. And they changed it to DeMarinis. And I don't know, St. Clair, is that St. Clair?
Yeah.
There? Yeah, and that's where Old Smoky was. And
Yeah.
we used to walk there, go see Old Smoky. Then when the visitors came, they would go see Old Smoky, and then they took it away. I don't know what they do with it. They put it in some museum somewhere.
Yes.
In Illinois.
Someone
In
told
Illinois?
me, but I can't remember. Okay.
Yeah.
But you know what? When we had a nickel, we would walk to 6th and Harrison for punchkas.
Oh.
They were a penny apiece.
Oh.
You buy 5 punchkas for a nickel and walk home eating them,
Right.
Oh, they were good. And there was a bakery. Every house was a bakery, They were baking constantly. But I don't know if, and then prior, Bishop Avenue was our playground. And then when Grappies built their houses on Bishop Avenue, they went to Prior Avenue for the playground, and that we used to have ice skating there. But Stemper's was there all that time.
Well, so was Prairie Playground. That's where everybody went.
Yeah.
Everybody went to Prairie.
Yeah. Bayview was fun. We had a lot of fun.
Did you spend any time in the parks there, like Humboldt Park or South Shore Park too, or?
South Shore and Humboldt. We used to go to Humboldt for the 4th of July, but South Shore Park was. I used to go with the nuns, to South Shore, but we never had a car at our house. My dad never drove.
But they had ice skating. I don't know if they do now. Right in front of the pavilion at South Shore, they would freeze that whole area down there for ice
Okay.
skating. And the same with Humboldt Park, of course, with
Sure.
the lagoon.
Lagoon.
But then they had the frolics, which was a big deal in Bayview too.
Yeah.
And South Shore Park was very popular. We used to go skating there all the time in the wintertime. Nothing else.
We used to bonfires.
Mm-hmm.
we had- We had bonfires.
At the parks? At the park they did?
On the beach.
Oh, okay.
On the beach.
Wow.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah.
In the summer or in the fall, or what time of year did you?
As soon as the weather got nicer, and we had gangs, we were like groups,
Yeah.
like kids do today. and we'd go down to the beach.
It's free.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's free.
I never had a bathing suit.
Never went swimming. She didn't go swimming. No, she never went swimming.
No, I never learned to swim, and I never learned to skate. Ice skate. I knew how to roller skate.
Never rode a bicycle.
But you know, my parents never had those things when they came from Europe, so we never had them either. But my brother Wally was quite a basketball star
He went to Bayview.
at Bayview.
Okay.
I took my mother one time to see him play. He was the smallest guy on the team, you know, but he could really play, and he could shoot. I loved basketball. I really and truly did. I didn't like football so much because it was so cold, and we didn't have adequate clothing, so you froze, you know. So I never wanted to watch the football games, but basketball, yes, that was what I liked. Yeah.
And Bayview High School was quite the high school. You didn't walk on that grass. And they did, you know, now there's parking lots with the cars. That was never there. It was all grass, the entire campus. You never walked on the grass. Nobody. I didn't go there. And my friend said, you don't walk on the grass at Bayview. And I'm like, okay, I don't walk on the grass at Bayview. And we went in, yeah, it was very well run at that time. The teachers were really very, very good teachers.
You
And the
know,
sports was great.
it
too.
was a safe neighborhood, and you could walk anytime, day or night, and be safe because nobody bothered you. No, I don't know about today, but where do you live?
I was just gonna say I live on Russell, right by the high school, and they're actually putting a new track
do
in right
you?
now. Yeah.
That's the nice part of Bayview, right by the high school.
Yeah, right by
right?
the high school,
yeah,
yeah. But,
Did
yeah.
you know they never walked on the grass?
I didn't know that. Now I'll have to keep that in mind.
Never walked. No, I'm sure it's not the same now. Trust me.
But yeah, they're putting a new track in there right now. They
Yeah.
pulled the whole thing up.
I'm sure they walk on the grass now
Yeah.
because there's parking lots. There are parking lots there.
Mm-hmm. Um.
You find out anything you didn't know before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
We should show you some of the pictures. She's got pictures too. I have to dig them out.
Oh, sure.
Bayview.
So what were some of the things that you liked?
Pardon?
What were some of the things you liked the most about living in Bayview over all those years?
What would I?
It seems like there's a lot of things you liked about it that you're talking about already, I guess. But
Just brings. I think it brings smiles to your face. You know, and whether you live up in the Washington, you know, near Washington
We
High
did,
School.
yeah.
And I had friends that were up there, and they
Oh.
talked about it, you know, or Bayview. It
You
was
don't
just
know
a
about
community.
Beulah Britton, though.
It is.
a little bit.
It's
Yeah,
That was the thing we did right after school. Go home and change your clothes, and then you'd run off to the social center, you know? And there were, we had reading class, we had gym, and we had games. And we had some wonderful teachers in it. Yeah.
and the boys would go play basketball, and they have showers there, which at
Yeah.
home they didn't have showers. No, but you know, they had bathtubs, and that was it. No showers.
Yeah.
No, but you know that gym was so small, and when those guys would get in there, you could smell the sweat the minute you opened the door. It was so small, isn't it, Mary?
It was small.
I was in the gym watching. Then they had movies later on, you know, and I was there when Lindbergh crossed the ocean.
oh,
So at that I saw that, yeah. And the girls, the gyms, the showers were the popular thing because none of us had bathrooms in those days, so we had to go to Beulah Britton for our showers. Did you?
No.
Oh, by that time we had a
Two
shower.
of 'em.
It was something else. And you know, nobody complained. Nobody complained. But it was something else.
This might be another rumor, but were there tunnels in Bayview?
Tunnels?
Tunnels, yeah. Any possible?
No.
No.
I heard tunnels by the lake. Is that where you heard the tunnels?
Oh, by the lake?
Is that where you heard about the tunnels?
Like a tunnel put in by the city? Like a water.
Oh no, that's.
No, it
Because
is.
there's talk of, these culverts
Yeah, I've heard
and
that too.
walking up.
Yeah, no, I've heard that too. And then,
Yeah.
we never went down under the Hohen because that
Oh.
was all the city's properties. But
Oh.
at night too, people used to go down there and park.
Oh,
You know?
under the bridge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the bridge wasn't even there.
Oh, that's right.
And the bridge to nowhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I heard.
Mm.
Oh, I should. Okay. What else was interesting about Bayview? Beulah Britain. Everybody went there.
Well,
Everybody
there was
went
a
to Bayview.
boys' night and a girls' night, and when the boys were in the gym, you didn't go in near it because of the sweat, and the odor. Oh Lord! And those guys used to play basketball, and it was just such a little place to play.
Yeah, it was on
But they played basketball, and they were good.
Mhm.
They were good.
They
There
had
were
classes
a lot of nice.
Did your brother play there too, or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My brother was, he and a couple of his friends. Then he played at Bayview. He was a
He was a good
basketball player at Bayview, yeah. Mary went to Bayview, but I never went to
Her
Bayview.
sister.
Mm.
Mary.
So
No.
did you have two? You had one brother and one sister, or those are two siblings?
Yeah, one brother and one sister. And I was the oldest.
No.
Yeah.
Have you been to the 2590 South Superior? That it's now the
Yeah.
Bayview Historic Society. Have you been in the last couple of years? Have you been there? Or no? You
No, the last time I was there was when Daisy Tucker lived there. That was the
Oh.
last time I was there.
Oh,
What's his name? I can't think of who now. Was it Paul?
Paul Kobeck?
Yeah,
Yeah, he and Audrey Quincy,
yeah, yeah,
neighbors,
Yeah.
said we should start a Bayview Historic
yeah,
Society.
yeah. That's what they did. Yeah.
And they
So
did.
can you go in there anytime? Can you go in there anytime?
Well, we're always there every Monday morning from 10 until noon doing archive
think-
work. Yeah.
And there's
so
open
that-
houses
yeah.
on
Have
Saturdays.
you been there,
I
Dick?
think.
Jim?
And then if
I
you
have
a
not, no.
computer,
What- I take that back. We were there several years ago. They had an open house.
Oh, did they?
And
Yeah.
we toured the
Yeah.
property, but haven't been back since.
It's a beautiful house.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It always was.
Yeah.
Always was.
Yeah. So there's
I used to know
weddings
who
there.
owned it, who
Oh, really?
built it, but I can't remember
Music.
anymore.
You said you used to know who built it?
Doing the kitchen is kind of.
Well,
But,
not Mrs.
yeah, every
Tucker.
Monday morning, 10 till
Estes
noon.
was the
I
one
would
that,
have if you have pictures, I'm sure they're right. Like the
Yeah,
sisters.
oh,
she was a
yes,
school
of,
teacher, I think,
I
isn't
just
it?
wanna, when
You
I go
don't
through
remember?
those pictures,
I don't.
if there's
Mary.
Bayview. Pardon?
Wasn't Estes a school teacher?
Daisy?
I don't remember.
Who owned that Estes house when we were kids?
All I know is Estes, man.
Estes, okay.
Mhm.
You don't remember?
Oh, but then I think there was a school teacher in there.
Yeah.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
remember the man. No, there was a school teacher that, I don't know. See, that's where
So I think there was a couple different generations of people living in the house at the same time for a while,
Mm-hmm.
from what I've learned.
Yeah.
But everybody knew everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
Up and down South Shore Drive, down Superior Street, Wentworth, Russell, everybody knew everybody. So it was like,
We used to go dancing at Pete Marino's.
Marinos was quite the place too.
And where
would
was
be the
that?
Palomino.
Oh, the Palomino, okay.
Palomino.
And then dance at Barberi's.
Oh yeah,
We used to dance at Barberi's
And where was that?
that's on Concord.
next to Beulah Britton.
Yeah,
Next to the.
that's the oldest tavern in Bayview, I heard.
On,
Barberries, right by, you know where Beulah Britton is? The old Beulah Britton, not the new.
oh.
You don't even know where the old Beulah Britton was?
I'm trying to think.
On, what street was the old Beulah Britton on?
It wasn't
It's
right.
Claire, it's St. Clair.
St. Clair,
right.
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
the Beulah Britton was
Oh,
there, and
right.
right, the Barberry was right on the corner.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Oh, it's,
You know what? We had a colored
There's a
family
Cutler
that lived
Hall.
next
Right
door to
around
Beulah
Cutler's
Britton.
Hall,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the oldest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it, yeah, and that's where Beulah Britton was, right next door.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Well, it was just a little teeny
Yeah,
place until they moved it to the new site.
yeah, right.
But we went to it when it was on the old,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
Do you know what? We used to have free shows.
I was just gonna say,
Somebody from the school board would come on a Saturday night, and before the movie started, we'd be singing all these songs, you know, and that's where we learned all our songs. And what was his name, Mary?
That's before my time.
I forgot to.
and they
But anyhow,
would show movies?
we
yeah.
we'd
Yeah.
go by Gruppy's and we'd get an orange crate, you know, because you had to sit on something.
Sure.
They didn't have any bleachers at that time, and we'd bring our boxes and our bag of peanuts. For a nickel, you got a great big bag of peanuts by Gruppy's, and we'd sit there and the peelings from the peanuts would be on the ground.
But that
It was
the old
something, yeah, and we'd sing for about an hour, and then after that the movie would start, and there'd be a piano to play, you know, for the,
Silent.
yeah. But that was our entertainment, and then we'd walk home
Well,
about 9
and
o'clock,
The
yeah.
other place was Kneisler's too, you
Oh.
know, and,
That's the other old.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think, I haven't been there in a long time, but that was popular too. Same with the one that was just on Russell Avenue. Russell and Wentworth, is that, what's the name of that?
Oh, at random?
Oh,
Random.
at random.
Yeah.
What was the name of before at random? What was the name of the tavern before
Which
at random?
one?
At random. Across from Gruppy's house.
Kearns.
Kearns. It's called Kearns Tavern, yeah.
She made the best chicken. Oh Lord, on a Saturday they'd have chicken fries.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful chicken. And she
Gruppy's
had two daughters and a son who was a cadet at Annapolis.
Oh.
Her son Louis Kern became a whatever.
What's called Kearns? I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Wow. So yes, I think
But
at
chicken
random
was
in
so
1964
good.
Or something.
Mm-hmm. But before it was called
For
Kearns.
that, yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a butcher shop across the street from Kearns.
Right where
Remember?
that sewing place is, right? No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember?
No, that was before my
It was
time.
run by two brothers
Mm-mm.
next to the
I
apartments.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Gruppy is owned those houses right across from that random, that whole, those condos are.
Okay.
Yeah, those.
Gruppy owned a lot of property in Bayview.
I suppose.
He was the smartest businessman. Oh, ain't it, Mary? He was smart. He never went to school. Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what songs you sang when you would when you get together and sing? What type of music you would sing?
Oh, we'd sing you know, like the songs you sang in school.
She's
We
got
would
the
sing.
songs at home at her other house, and you know, she says, don't throw those out. So they would have the listings of the songs and all of the words, and they used to just sit there and sing the songs.
Yeah.
Just like they did at Cutworth, I think, didn't they? Did they sing songs at Cutworth?
If they did, it was before
For
my
a
time.
Oh yeah, they sang them at Cutworth too. Didn't you sing those at Cutworth?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because she said that, and I thought it said Cutworth on there. But those are the songs. What songs did you sing? I can't remember.
What songs did we sing? My Old Kentucky Home.
Yeah.
Kate Smith, remember Kate Smith would be singing
Oh, and the radios,
America?
too.
Yeah,
Huh?
God
That's
bless
America,
America.
right?
Oh.
Remember when you hear all the radios when the ball games would be
Yeah,
on?
yeah.
You hear the radios throughout Bayview?
Yeah, yeah.
Or when they would be talking about the war, the radios
Yeah.
would be on?
Huh.
That's, nobody had TV.
But you know, during the war, when the boys were all gone and the sailors would come in from Waukegan, that was something too. They would come in on a Saturday night and take over. And they were nice. They were nice. They didn't cause any problems.
And then they had that submarine down by the lake. You guys know about that, right?
We've heard.
Yeah. Oh, that was pretty popular.
Pretty big deal.
Yeah. It was, even I remember that.
How old were you then, Mary?
Oh, I must have been 10, 12. And the fishing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Remember the fishing?
Yeah,
My dad wouldn't let us go down there.
yeah.
No, you can't go down there. Okay.
Right at the end of Russell, or where?
Yes, right
Yeah.
at the end of Russell.
Mm.
Right where that little pier is.
Okay.
And they would just, it'd be full of guys with their nets.
Mm.
And then the submarine was there too at that point in time. And on the rocks. Don't let me catch you on those rocks.
Coast Guard was there.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. It wasn't, nothing was fenced in.
Oh.
Nothing was fenced in.
Oh. Mm.
Yeah. So you could go wherever you wanted then.
Yeah.
And none of those condos in South Shore Park were there. Those were just built, in the last whatever.
When the iron mill was there, there was part of it was fenced. There was a fence around the mill.
Where was this?
the iron mill?
Yeah.
There was a fence there.
Yeah, there was a fence.
See, I don't remember that one. That's too
Okay.
old for me. But they all talked about, then they had that sign there. Remember
Yeah.
when they had those problems? They had rioting there?
Yeah,
And they had that sign right across from, Palomino.
Palomino, yeah.
I don't know if it's still there. Is it
Yeah,
still
yeah,
there?
the
Oh,
historical
the state
marker,
historic
yeah.
center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then every first Sunday in May, there's the commemoration.
Mhm.
Yeah.
First Sunday in May, every year, there's a commemoration of the tragedy
yeah.
in Bayview.
Are you part of that?
I go to it. I help put up the sign that says,
Yeah.
"Please come on," first Sunday in May.
Yeah.
And Frank Zeidler,
Mhm.
the former mayor,
But
he,
you know,
he
as a-
would come to those.
Yeah, as a child, you don't just take you take those things for granted.
Mm,
You don't make a big issue of them. But
yeah.
Bayview was the safest place to live in when we were kids. We had no problems at all.
So was the East Side. East Side was safe too. They were all safe neighborhoods.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
Who
Yeah.
was the socialist mayor?
Oh, before Zeidler,
Yeah,
there was
Hohen.
Hohen.
My
and-
grandpa used to talk about him.
Oh yeah,
And
Mhm.
Were you
Seidel.
talking about the mayors?
There's three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seidel was the first one. I think.
yeah.
And Meyer.
Oh, and
Meyer
Henry.
was after
Yeah,
Zeidler.
yeah. Oh, and Summerfest.
Meyer.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about Summerfest. Did you go down to Summerfest when it first opened?
Who
No,
was the
a long time back I went down.
who was the socialist?
Zeidler was.
Zeidler was.
Frank Zeidler.
But so
Yeah.
Daniel Hohen was too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Daniel
Then I
Hohen.
think Hohen was mayor for a long, like
Mhm.
18 years or something. I can't remember exactly, but a long time.
Yeah.
My
And then-
grandparents talked about them. The only one I knew was Meyer.
Sure.
I guess Meyer, you couldn't really say he was a socialist.
No.
But he was in there for a
Singing
long
mayor.
time too.
Oh, yeah, he
Yeah.
That's the thing about Milwaukee.
And the-
All the mayors stay there a really long time. There haven't been that many
Yeah.
mayors going back over
Right.
100 years. Just they've had lovely long tenures. You know?
Correct.
Well, it's the same with the police chief. Same
Sure.
thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if that's unique to Milwaukee or not. I guess I don't really.
Things don't change
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
You've done a number of interviews. She might like to know some of the names.
Oh, yeah, good photo.
Of what?
Interview like
Who else he interviewed?
Oh well, Janice.
Ellen Tucker.
Yeah, Ellen Tucker we interviewed.
So Ellen Tucker was interviewed, just like you are
I don't think she
recorded now.
Where does she live?
She lived. She's south of Oklahoma.
Is that Daisy's daughter?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
She must be living in the Bay, huh?
Close to it.
Close,
a little
wow,
bit
closer.
south. But she comes to the
Does she?
gatherings for the Historic Society.
Where do you meet?
At 2590 South Superior.
You do.
That's the Bayview Historic Society bought the home from
Yeah.
Bob Quincy and Audrey Quincy. And
Are they still living?
no, they're not. They luckily they sold it to the society.
Did they?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because that's a beautiful home.
Mm-hmm.
It is, ain't it?
A nice piece
Yeah.
of property. Nice piece of property.
And so, maybe you could come and
Yeah.
stop in sometime. We'd love
I
to
will
show
take
it to you.
We will sometime, Mary.
I wrote down.
Great.
Okay.
And
I was in there a couple of times.
okay,
They have an elevator.
not at the 2590.
No.
Not
I'm thinking-
anymore?
I'm thinking of what's the one on Superior Street by the Iron Well? By the,
Oh, that one?
on the corner. That's what I'm thinking.
North of Russell or
No.
Well, this is
The
close.
spring
To,
water.
this is close to the. This is just east of that. East.
Yeah, that's right on the corner.
Yeah, it's right in the corner.
That's what I'm
It
thinking.
faces the iron well.
That's
Yeah,
the
but,
place, yeah.
yeah. Okay, they had an elevator at
oh,
one time.
okay.
Hmm.
Where was it? If that's the place, and then
Yeah.
the directions are terrible. Okay, you know where this bubbler is? The spring? The,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's right on the corner of Superior Street, right there, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, they have an
The-
elevator.
it'd be the-
Wow.
Well, the Buell Brenton House is the northeast corner
Yeah.
of the
And that's
intersection.
that elevator would be northwest corner. Yeah.
I guess.
Because the bubbler or the
What do they call it
artesian
now?
well,
The artesian well,
Yeah.
yes. The
former
bubbler.
former
Yes,
artesian
yes,
well,
Yes, yes.
is west of Superior Street.
Okay, and the historical home is on the corner in the, of Superior.
Northeast corner. Yeah.
Right, that's what I thought,
Yeah.
northeast corner, yeah.
With the
And
large
they-
lawn.
Yep, right, and that's the
Yeah.
beautiful property.
Yeah.
But they had an elevator.
Northwest corner.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you've done a number of interviews. I can't think of other names.
Janice.
Janice Litke, John Mankey, who else? So these it's so good for the society to know the history from people who lived it.
Yeah.
And that's why we
Yeah.
love talking with
Yeah.
you. So, do you know any other person that we should be talking to
Do I know
That-
from Bayview?
that has lived a long time in Bayview?
Just Tom Gruppy.
Mm-mm.
Tom Grappe.
And if you
We're-
need to.
He's on our list,
If you
right?
can get a hold of him and corral him.
Yeah.
Most of the Italians are gone now, you
Oh.
know, they're
Mhm.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
What about the Fishers?
Who?
The Fishers.
I don't know if
Mary
Mary
would
and John
remember Mary
Fisher
said
were
that.
there.
Oh, we talked to them.
Did you?
I think. Yeah, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. They live in the Bayview Terrace.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. We went. Yeah. We went up there.
Oh, John and Mary. Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
her parents,
Right.
her dad taught at Bayview
Oh, John.
High School. Yeah, and they
Or,
were.
or Mary's dad.
Yes,
I see.
yes.
Oh,
Who else is still
okay.
around, Mom?
Huh?
Who else is still around?
Yeah. Who else is still around?
Hmm.
No, nobody that
Mhm.
the Italians are all gone.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
There was one Sicilian family in Bayview. The rest were all Marcagians or Piemontese, yeah.
Oh,
But just one Sicilian, yeah, and that he was our coal man.
oh.
We used to deliver our coal. Ricciardi, remember?
Mm-hmm.
You don't remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't around then, but I remember
Yeah.
you talking about him.
Was there
Just
a
don't feel bad.
was there a friendly group of women that met regularly
Yeah, we used to meet at Beulah Britton.
At the social center?
Yeah, we used to meet at
The
Beulah
old one,
Britton.
not-
Did you-
well, the new one or the old one?
Yeah.
Both of them, the old and the new? The old one and the new one?
Both of them, yeah.
Both of them. Did you call yourselves,
We called ourselves, I can't think of what we called ourselves.
it's just a friendly group of women that would meet
Oh,
regularly?
I still remember the song we used to sing. I'm a hayseed, my hair is seaweed, and my clothes are made of leather, and they flop in windy weather. Gosh, oh hemlock, I'm as tough as a pine log. I'm a Beulah Britton girl, you see.
Wow. That's good.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Oh, we were corny. But we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun.
So that was a pretty good sized social group
Oh, yeah.
meeting.
Oh,
10
But
or
we were
20
the only ones that weren't Italians. Everybody was Italian, yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Oh, that's great. Hmm.
Yeah, that was, but they all went to Trowbridge. You know, I'm the only one that went to IC. I was in the old school when it first, when my mother first took me to school. She couldn't even spell my name because she didn't know how to spell it. But the nuns figured it out. And our school faced Russell Avenue at that time. That was before the new school was built.
It faces Russell now, though.
Huh?
It faces Russell now. Are you sure? The school always faced Russell, didn't it?
It did when we were young, yeah,
It
but
still
now
is now.
it doesn't face Russell now.
Sure.
That the church doors moved from,
The church door. Yeah, she's talking about the
yeah,
church.
church
doors moved.
door.
Huh?
Yes.
The church door faced Russell and they moved it to
Mm-hmm.
Moved it to KK.
sort of.
Yeah, it used to it used to face Russell Avenue
Right.
when we were kids.
Yeah.
I have a picture like that.
We have a lot of pictures.
Patty's got it.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
Patty's got that picture.
okay.
We had a class of 65. Nuns had big classes, Some of the nuns were good and some were bad. Oh,
Even in my class, it was 50 to 60 kids in a class,
Mm,
and you told the line.
yeah.
And if somebody needed help, all the smarter kids would help the people that needed help.
Okay.
And the nuns would too, of course. But there were a lot of times where you stayed after and helped. Everybody got through, but there was a lot of help going on.
Where was the mother house?
I see the Mercy nuns were from
Oh.
Chicago
Oh, okay.
and in Ireland. So when they went to Ireland, they saw the mother house.
Oh,
came from Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
oh.
But St. Patrick's was Mercy,
St.
and
Patrick's.
so was IC, yeah.
Mm.
Off of Mitchell, Pierce Street, I think it is. I don't know where St. Patrick's is anymore.
Yeah.
Those are Mercy nuns. And St. Mary's was a different order. I don't know.
They were the Franciscans.
Franciscans.
Mm-hmm. Mercy was the only one.
So
Well, is there anything else you want to talk about your time in Bayview? Anything else that sticks out we didn't talk
I
about?
don't think so, do you? I think most,
covered
yeah.
it pretty much.
Okay. Well, thank you for
Yes.
talking about all your
Yeah.
experiences over the years. You really have a lot of information from such a long amount of time.
Yeah.
Spent so much time there. That's just quite remarkable. So thank you very much.
You gonna make up an article on it?
We're just going to keep the recording, and we're just recording a lot of different people right now, and then eventually I think the Historical Society might do something with it then, but it won't be an article or anything like that.
No?
No, not, at least not now. So,
Wait a couple of years, but we'll be gone.
so all right, I'm going to turn it off now.
Okay.